New cards, PogChamp, new cards. Hello everyone, welcome in. We've got for you, guess what? New cards. We got some spoilers today directly from Ghost Galaxy for the new Draconic Measures Gamefound campaign for the new set coming up. If you haven't already seen about it, please go check out the Gamefound page, which will be linked in the description below. And go check out the other spoilers as well. We're gonna have. I'll go over a little bit in the later bit in the video. I'll sort of go over. I'll show a list of creators who have also done spoilers. So we'll go over the campaign a little bit, scrolling through the website. So let's get into the first card. It's gonna be good ones. So the first card we've got is a Skyborn card. It is a common, and it is called Deep Blue Bryn. Now this is something where I'm happy to see the key color mechanic come back. I think it's interesting. I think it was a little underdeveloped in Amber Skies. I mean, that's sort of the, that seems to be always the case with Keyforge mechanics. When the new Keyforge mechanics come out, when they get in, I feel like they're always a little underdeveloped. Like, they could be used more, they could be fleshed out more, but they never quite are. So I'm hoping that with Draconic Measures, we start to see a little bit more of that. We see a little bit better fleshing out. There's a brand new mechanic in Draconic Measures called Entrench, which I'll sort of get into later in the video, but I'm hoping with that alongside some of the old mechanics, we can see it fleshed out a little bit better. So here we see Skyborn coming back with the key color theme, which I think is great. I'm glad they're carrying that through sets. I like when houses maintain set identity, and I'm glad Skyborn is keeping the sort of steely, the board-based steely key colors. Glad to see that. So Bryn is a 4-power, 0 armor Skyborn creature. It is a human cyborg, and its text reads, after fight, steal 1 amber, period, which means that's happening all the time. Then there's a conditional statement after that where it's, if a blue key is forged, ward Deep Blue Bryn. So essentially this is like a Hapsis, if people are familiar with Hapsis, which is a 5-power creature where if after you fight, you get to ward the creature, and you get to draw a card. And that's up here. So steal 1 amber, pretty okay. I mean, it's a 4-power body, so you're not fighting too often. Basically, you've kind of got 1 fight in it, which isn't really ideal. Just, like I said, not really ideal. The fact that you can ward it makes it more or less repeatable, but you already have to have a Keyforge, so you're looking at maybe, a little later in the game. It's all right. I think as a common, this could be a problem in Sealed. I think wards and creature protection in general in Sealed are often difficult to handle. So it'll be interesting to see there. And in terms of, sort of an Archon thing, I'm not too excited about it. I think in Sealed, you're fine. You're really happy to open this. Though depending on how Skyborn's actions look, because in Amber Skies, Skyborn actions were definitely the star of the show. So, and same with Talk. Be interesting to see. We'll see if their Steel 2 with flanks is back and relay rotation and stuff like that. So we'll see how it goes. I think this card is cool. I love the art. I'm a huge fan. Like a cyberpunk. This is like cyborg, cyberpunk, pirate. That's alluring to me. I like it. Yeah, really cool card. I wish it had flavor text. I love flavor text, especially when I get it when there's a ton of card text on it. Not a ton of card text here. We could have had some cool flavor. Like obviously this is a really inspired, like these cards, a lot of the Skyborn cards seem really inspired by Treasure Planet as an art style. And I would just like to see maybe some Treasure Planet, just some of those vibes, like sort of those high C, the Horatio Nelson, just those kind of times. It reflected in the flavor text. It could be even something as like a super cliche pirate line with a reference to blue. Why does Deep Blue Bryn care about the blue key? That's what I want to know. I want to know motivation for this character. But overall, I think the art is sick, really well done by Herbert Daniel. I think they did a phenomenal job. And I think the card as well is mid. It's in Magic the Gathering, they're often called bears, and it's pretty much just a bear with a little bit better. I think the warding after fight means you'll probably get, as long as you can get the first fight off, ideally into maybe like a 1-power or an elusive, then I think you're kind of off to the races with this card. And yeah, we'll see what goes, especially with the new sets. I feel like a lot of sets recently have had pretty poor creature control. So we'll sort of have to see how that plays out. Maybe it'll be better than I think it is, but I think so far it'll be like I'm not mad to see it, but I'm not exactly happy to see it. And in certain scenarios, it's going to do like a fair bit of work, and sometimes it's going to do no work. So it'll be interesting to see. And we can go over to our next card, though, which is going to be an uncommon. So we've gone from a common now to an uncommon. And that is going to be Apoptosis. So Apoptosis is a Geistoid action with an Amber Pip. And it says play, purge a card from your discard pile. If you do, friendly creature captures 2 Amber. And that's a good card. I love self-mill, or self like deck thinning. I'm a huge fan of deck thinning as a concept. I think this is a very reasonable effect to do it, unlike Grave Bounty. I thought Grave Bounty was a pretty high on the power curve in terms of A, it's deck thinning, B, it's just 2 Amber loss, which is a big deal. This is just a friendly creature captures 2. I like this card, actually. I'll just put this out there. I like this card. I think this card will be good in Archon decks. I think this card will probably, I don't know if it'll be relevant in depending on how good Geistoid is. I'm sure it could be relevant in Alliance decks. And I also think it'll be good in Sealed. This is just a good Sealed card as well. Especially in Sealed, you're more likely to refresh the deck, more likely to get thin out decks cards that you don't necessarily want to see again. So definitely a good card. You could be put into some tricky positions when you have a very thin discard pile, and you really need the Amber control. You'd certainly be put into tricky positions, purging out cards that you really care about. If that's the case, it may not even be relevant. You may not be refreshing that deck at that point. So, like I said, things otherwise good. The flavor and name and quote and art here are all great. So the flavor text is for the good of the many, right? Which feels very much like a Mars reference, and we get a Mars character in the art who looks like it's being consumed by essentially like a blob, a slime blob. And apoptosis is a biological process in which cells self-destruct. They explode. They rupture their own cell membrane if they are found to be defective. Cell is damaged. If a cell has problems, it'll commit suicide, which is apoptosis. This feels like, especially with the quote, like for the good of the many, I'm a little confused. So I'm assuming what's happening is that this Mars character is like getting Borged, is like getting assimilated by this Geistoid card. And to avoid issues for the Martian people, they're going to commit suicide. Right? They're going to commit apoptosis. I'm assuming that's what's happening. That is the flavor I'm getting from this card. Rather than get Borged by this Geistoid slime blob, they're going to undergo apoptosis. And Martians, canonically, are all agender and asexual, and kind of like the, if anyone watches Stargate, kind of like the Asgard and Stargate, they're all clones. Hence why we get all the cloning references in Mars cards. So it would make perfect sense for a Martian who is cloned like cells are to undergo apoptosis for the good of the many. So I think flavor and everything on point, and we're kind of getting, it's cool to get Mars flavor in, it's cool to get Mars flavor in a non-Mars card. That's cool. And the fact that this is a Geistoid action, I think probably makes sense. Geistoid purges cards. I get it. I think that makes sense. I think it's interesting though. It could have been a Mars card if they'd flavored it purge a non-Mars card from your discard pile. So they're sort of getting that carrying through that Martians make bad allies theme. Overall though, I'm a big fan. I think this is a really cool card. I think this is really strong. I think this is absolutely something you want to see in pretty much any deck. Like I think you're happy to see this. It's an uncommon, so you're not going to see it a ton, but with the smaller card pools we've been seeing with the new sets, I don't think that's going to matter. So I think this is a good card. It's a cool card, and I'm excited to open it. So those are our 2 spoilers. We got Apoptosis and we got Deep Blue Bryn. Both really cool cards. I think Apoptosis is a much cooler card than Deep Blue Bryn, but I think Deep Blue Bryn is something that's going to be a Sealed staple for Skyborn, especially in Sealed. Just Sealed is an environment where these kind of cards will shine. Awarded a 4-power creature that after fight steals 1 and can control the board. That is going to be something that you kind of want to see in Sealed. It's going to get a lot of value. It's more likely to stay on the board, more likely to get value out of fighting. I love profit creatures that fight profitably. I'm sort of explaining this in other videos, but fighting profitably just means that when you fight, you can trade up. So either destroy a creature bigger than you, so that's stuff like poison, all that kind of stuff. But more importantly is that you want to keep quote-unquote card advantage, where you remove a creature from them, so they can't use that creature, right? That's -1 card. You get to keep yours. That's neutral. And then in this case, right, it steals 1, it has an effect, so it steals 1, so it's not just skirmish. And then it sort of rewards itself. So I love creatures that fight profitably, like Keo the Adventurer, Quixo the Adventurer, Brain Eater. There's lots of them, but those kind of cards, I think they're really cool. I like to see more of them, like those Xeno Aliens, the ones that they fight and they search the deck for 3 of the Star Alliance ones. Really cool, great card advantage engines. But yeah, I just like creatures that fight profitably. And I think when the board matters and controlling the board matters and you're incentivized to use your creatures in ways that are other than reaping, I think that's really healthy for the game. I think we should be striving for a world where in Keyforge we have lots of options, and in order to maximize our chances to win, maximize what we can get out of decks, we are forced to grapple with the idea that maybe reaping isn't the best thing to do. And oftentimes it is, and that's kind of it's nice to be given these sort of questions. Is it worth fighting? And for Steel 1, yeah, 2 Amber Delta better than 1 Amber Delta for a reap. So nice to see that we're getting some of those. 4 power is a little awkward for it, but way better than 3. Far more likely it's going to survive a fight. Far more likely it's going to be able to trade down. I'm really excited to see how these cards look in the set among the other ones. All right, and here we can see we've got the list of spoilers by party. So we had Bad Penny Press, Team GG, Archon's Quarter, Amber Medes, L'Archon del Crogiolo, the Warcaster Forge, Help Feature Self, and myself today. And the next one's going to be Floximal. Please go check out all of these on the Gamefound website. They're going to have a hyperlink for all of them, so please go check that out, because I think every single person here is a fantastic content creator. I love Orion. I think he puts out really amazing commentary videos and gameplay videos. I think their run up to their Vault Tour series, where they were practicing for the Vault Tours, or the run up to Vegas, really awesome. I think if you want to see how players learn decks and evaluate decks and sort of that process, great resource. Please go check it out. Give them a follow. Listen to all these podcasts. Read all their content, like the Bad Penny Press. Sign up for their newsletter. Go give them some love. Give all these content creators some love. Keyforge content really needs some extra love right now, so please go show it to them. And this is the Gamefound campaign. For anyone who doesn't know, you can go on here. You go to Gamefound, right, and you type in Keyforge. What pops up? Draconian Measures. And if you like dragons, this is the set for you. It's literally it's the dragon set, Draconic Measures. This is the dragon set. Everything Draconian Measures. Everything is dragons. So go get some dragons on. We got a new house, Uberos. Look at this cool flame icon. That's cool. So we got lots of dragons. Kind of got like a Skyrim. The dragons have awakened theme. We all loved Skyrim. And they got lots of stuff. I really like how they've done they got some more spoilers and previews on here as well. But I think they've actually done a really good job of the pledges. So you can see here for the pledges, they've got the main one, which is going to be Reaper of Amber. That's your standard. This is what most people are going to pledge. And they've got lots of add-ons. Obviously the Crucible, which if you're new to the game or you're looking to introduce the game to someone, this is a good one to do it. These are just going to be, I'm pretty sure these are still Winds of Exchange decks in the 2-player starter sets, which is fine enough. And then we got Seeker of Decks. If you just want decks, this is it. If you just want decks. They describe it as Svelte, which I think is an interesting word choice. It's certainly lean, certainly Svelte. Breaker of Chains, Turner of Keys, Arc to the Crucible, basically more and more and more. Unfortunately, the Architect of the Crucible is gone, so you can't get your face into the game. Lots of cool stuff on here. Really great campaign. Please go show some love to these creators and go to the Gamefound page. Go to Updates. It's going to be in the Updates page. Go to the Updates page, and you're going to see this. We can even check out the full art reveal, which is, I think the full arts look phenomenal. I'm a sucker for just art. I love art. This is a pretty standard one. You can see like, I actually got a card right here. You can see like a lot of cards use this treatment, right? I mean, you can see like, this is a sorcery card, right? My favorite sorcery card is the Battle Mage. You can sort of see that they've taken that style with it. I think that style looks phenomenal. Yeah, I think the full arts look great. The Keyforge, the art in Keyforge is great. So, and we don't get appreciated enough with the small boxes. Not that it looks great in the small boxes, but you can really appreciate it in these full ones. Like, look how good Sharkbait looks. Look how good Return to Rubble looks. They all look fantastic as a full art. So I think this is a really great option to get a full art deck. I love foils. Don't get me wrong. I love foils. but I love being able to appreciate art, and the best way to do that is non-foiled extended arts, which is what these are. So really great news. And also don't forget, we're gonna be getting +1 power counter icons, which is niche. I think there's a lot of cool stuff here. I'm an adaptive lover. I love adaptive. This kind of stuff goes nuts in adaptive. Like really weird micro decisions where it's like, well, I'm going to give your creature +1 power so I can, I don't know, I'll give your Keyfrog +1 power so you can't trade it with my creatures. Like that stuff's cool. So yeah, I'm really excited for all these things. I love pips. I think pips are one of the most interesting in the games. They make already unique decks even more unique, as odd as that sounds, and they really just sort of give flavor to decks that like, additional flavor to decks, and they make decks so much more interesting. And it's the case with when enhancements first came out in MM. I think the house icons, the house enhancements, I was really worried about. I was very vocally worried that it was going to be very hard on the game. That turned out great. I think they did a good job with it. Certain exceptions, but generally I think they've made decks really fun. I love Amber Skies. I love the house pip design, and I'm just really excited to get more pips. So yeah, keep an eye out for these, and please back the Gamefound if you can. Say no, it's expensive. Shipping's expensive, whatever. So everyone, please go give the Gamefound campaign some love. Give it a follow. Give it a share. Yeah, I hope to see everyone playing some Draconian Measures in the near future. Just a reminder again that our spoiler cards today were Apoptosis and Deep Blue Bryn. So that's going to be it from me. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Ghost Galaxy, for the spoiler. Love you all. Hopefully you can go catch some Nationals coverage that we just had this past weekend, and I'll catch y'all next time. Peace, everybody.